Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webcast, The Real Impact of AI Financial Services, fireside chat with yours truly and Kelly Waltrich. We are so excited that you're here. We're waiting on lots of people today, you guys. Apparently, yeah, and people are just coming in right now. Kelly and I thought that it would be a great way to welcome you. We'd love to see where you're coming from. So if you can just drop us a quick link in the chat. Let us know where you're coming from. We're absolutely thrilled that you're here. We have had a lot of interest in today's program. So it's great to see you all here. I promise that you are going to it will be well worth your time if you're listening to this, if you're attending live. Hey, Steve in Fort Collins, awesome to see you. If you are attending live and even if you're listening to the replay, what we promise is we'll give you a full page of all the AI tools that we're going to be creating and talking about here. So no need for you to certainly take notes if you want. Matt Judge, there you are. Hello, great to see you coming live from New Jersey. Seeing you at Future Proof in a couple of weeks. Great. Hey, Drew. Drew's in Columbus. Awesome. We've got Montgomeryville, PA. Nice to see you, Barbara. Oh, we've got Mike Partnow, president of the Kelly and Tina fan club. Thank you so much for being here. Philly, Paige. Love it. So just give me a thumbs up too, you guys. We did a tech check before, but just give us a thumbs up. Make sure that you can hear both of us clearly and you can see both of us in the screen. Just someone give us a thumbs up. Great. Okay, super. Appreciate that love. Okay, let's get into it here. This is financial services, so I just want to read a couple of disclosures here. First of all, if we're meeting you here for the first time, welcome. We're excited. We're grateful that you made the time. We're going to get right into the program, but first, just again, some basic introductions and housekeeping. Today's program is being recorded. Isn't that great, you guys? Yes, everyone who registered will receive an email with today's replay, and also too, that one pager that will be the gospel of AI of everything that Kelly and I are going to be talking about. So we really invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We're not going to subject you to a PowerPoint presentation today. Yes, we will be accepting live questions at the end of today's broadcast. So please hold them until the end. We want to just make sure that we get to everybody at one time. And in the event that we do run out of time for your questions, what I'm doing right now is I'm dropping both Kelly's links and my links in the chat so that you have them as well too. Okay, so let's make sure that we get those. Those are in there. Yep, those are in there. And again, feel free to contact us. The first thing that we want to do today is really start out with a poll because, financial services and AI, it's really an explosion here. So many of us are using so many different AI tools. And we thought it would be really great to hear from you. So this is our first poll, everybody. Where is your firm today with AI? Are you just exploring? Are you using a few tools right now? Are you testing? Are you integrating? Are you intentionally, you're an AI first firm? I feel that we are deeply embedded in our strategy in every single thing that we're going to do, which we're going to talk about. But where are you all? Okay, awesome. We'll give it one more second. Okay, let's see if these numbers surprise you, everybody. Okay, a majority of our audience is using a few tools, but not consistently, which lends itself to today's program. I think next is that we see actively testing and integrating AI tools across workflows. I think that you're really going to enjoy this conversation, especially as it comes to the lead gen section that Kelly's going to lead. 12% of you are AI first, like us, and intentionally. And certainly there's no right or wrong here, just getting a sense of where everybody is at. Really, I think helps to help set the stage. So thanks everybody on that. Okay, so a little bit about our backgrounds. You should know who you're talking to. I'm Tina Powell, partner, chief of community here at Intentionally. If you don't know Intentionally, we are go-to growth consultancy. We're a marketing agency for the financial services industry. It's the only thing we do. We're 35 full-time elite marketers. We're headquartered we're located throughout the US. All of our employees are. But we're also here at King of Prussia. If you're here, come in for a VIP visit. Mike Partnow will tell you a little bit about that experience. I'm joined by our CEO and founder, Kelly Waltrich. We both approach financial services and even AI. There's some things that I do that different from what Kelly does, but I spent nearly 10 years of my career at a partner in a wealth management firm where I was responsible for growth and new client acquisition. We sold that firm. We poised it for M&A. After that acquisition, I started an agency that was acquired by yours truly. You're looking at her. My business partner, Kelly Waltrich. My background has always been in marketing and digital media. I taught at NYU in the graduate program where I earned my master's, but you probably know me from LinkedIn or in the Sweet Pod, where we are about to record our 100th episode next month. So I'm going to pass the mic to the one and only Kelly Waltrich so that you can get a little bit of sense from her background as well.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. What's up? I'm Kelly Waltrich. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. It means a lot. I am the CEO of Intentionally. As Tina mentioned, we're a growth consultancy and marketing agency serving firms all across financial services. And the way I like to describe what we do is we help firms transform their growth engines. And that can mean a lot of things to a lot of different firms. But we, of course, are seeing AI facilitate that in a lot of different ways. So Tina and I are really jazzed today to tell you all the things that we're using. And here's the deal. I question anybody that says they're an AI expert, right? I went through this interesting exercise and I posted a job for an AI expert, someone to come into our firm and revolutionize everything we're doing. So I had so many conversations with people who are saying they're AI experts, and anybody that tells you that, I think, is BS right now, right? It's moving so fast. Things are changing and evolving and growing, and there's a million new tools on the market every day. So Tina and I are not claiming to be experts. What we are claiming to say is that we are very AI first. We're embracing it. We know that we have to keep our firm at the forefront. And so we want to just give you a glimpse into the tools and technologies that we're testing and trying and using so that you can learn a little bit, try some of them yourselves, have us try some of them on your behalf. But, we put out a press release very recently to say that we have an AI lab, and that is very true. We are testing everything that we can find and get our hands on that we think might facilitate better outcomes for all of our clients, so that we can bring those to you in a cost-effective and meaningful way. So today is just going to be a small tidbit of some of the things that we're seeing and trying, and we hope that you get some takeaways from that, and we'd be happy to have ongoing conversations with you in terms of how you integrate some of these tools into your MarTech stack to make your go-to-market more effective. So thanks for taking the time.
Kelly just mentioned the launch of AI Labs for Intentionally, so I'm just going to drop the link in the chat. Our friends at Yahoo Finance helped cover that story, so we have that there in the chat as well too. Okay, let's get started. I think that one of the things is how did we get here, right? Why is AI why has there been such an explosion of AI? And so let's kind of look at how the world revolved less than 3 years ago. So ChatGPT originally launched, their release date was November 30th, 2022. Within 5 days, everybody, the chatbot had attracted 1 million users. Fast forward to today, I got some recent stats from ChatGPT as of August 2025. They boast 123 million active users. They're processing more than 2.5 billion prompts per day. That number is insane. The company now is in the 5th position of the top website globally, behind Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And oh, by the way, they have a valuation of $500 billion. So yeah, kind of tacking on to what Kelly was saying before about being, active users, and we've got active research and development here happening intentionally for AI. But the thing is, even my 83-year-old mother is using ChatGPT, right? So we're definitely, we're obsessed. Kelly, I know, what's your take on it? I think one of the things is that you also too created a generative AI tool, Advisor Brand Builder, years ago when this was starting to just come out. I'll drop the link in the chat for everybody. But what do you think? What's your take right now? Why everybody's so obsessed?
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. I feel like there's a transformation happening like I've never seen. And like Tina said, I think you have you have two options, right? You can hide and stick your head in the sand, or you can get excited about it. And I sort of put out a war cry very early on and intentionally to say that, like, if you're going to be part of our business, you're going to embrace this and you're going to find ways to make yourself better and our firm better. So I'm very lucky to have a team of people who have all sort of decided to rally around that. And so at intentionally, and I'm sure a lot of you are doing this, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. We did an exercise that I think was really valuable, right? We sat down as a team and we said, here are all the things, here are all of the processes that we don't like, here are all the steps we have to take, here are all the things where we have to duplicate efforts. We made a huge list of those things for our agency. And you could very well do the same thing for your own firm. And we said, these are the things that we believe AI is going to empower us to transform. And so we've been very deliberately, one by one, going through that list and figuring out, how do we think about all of these things differently, and how do we make sure that the time to execute them and the energy to execute them is cut down drastically by the now tools that are available at our disposal. And then, what Tina mentioned about the tool that we brought to market, and guys, we're a marketing firm, but I have to tell you, this is one of the things that we've done a terrible job marketing ourselves, and it is really cool. We built a tool called Advisor Brand Builder. What we realized very early on is that advisors really struggled to create beautiful, cohesive brands, ones that told their story both visually and in a written format. It was too long of a process. It was too hard of a process. People weren't asking them the right questions. They weren't giving the right information. And what was happening was our industry was flooded with same old stuff, sea of sameness. Everybody talks about that. And so we built a tool and a process, and this is not meant to be a sales pitch by any means, but just to talk about how we use AI internally to facilitate the brand building process for advisors. So now we have a tool that can take an advisor through the brand building process, from visual brand creation to written brand creation to website copy, and then every single brand asset you need for your firm within days instead of months, and in an extremely painless process. And we're really excited about it. And like I said, we've done a terrible job marketing it. I don't know why or how, but that's just, we'll do better. But I wanted to tell you all about that because this group of people on this webinar today, all of you are interested in AI. So if that's something you want to see a demo of, we would love to show you.
Okay, great. Thanks for starting us off, Cal. We are going to be talking, the first bucket of tools we'll be talking about is content creation. But I also think it's great to kind of set the stage of what we're seeing in wealth management and what we see just as tools and why it's so overwhelming right now. There is a website called AI Exploria. It's actually spelled like it's said. I'll drop the link in the chat. That's an AI tools directory, everybody, and they're currently cataloging over 5,000 AI tools, spanning areas like productivity, business tools, and more. So it's interesting. Tools are being released all the time, but within financial services and wealth management, we definitely see some great firms out there, guys, leveraging AI tools. Like Jiffy AI is one that you should absolutely know Jiffy's name. We saw Lydia, who just announced their tool. They are shaping wealth for behavioral finance. We've got Vanilla, who's doing estate planning. We've got FP Alpha for tax planning, Zox for meeting notes and preps. So while we don't necessarily see a category yet on Kitsis's technology map, what we are seeing is the integration of just AI into most of the fintech platforms. Not all, again, intentionally can provide you with a list of kind of who's leading the way. But just because there's so many like tools out there, what we say here at Intentionally is that they still doesn't necessarily mean that they belong in your shiny object tech stack. So don't start running, listen to today's, kind of sit back, relax. Let's get right into it. And let's go right to for content creation. Content creation is a huge, huge area. The number one content creation tool that we like over here is ChatGPT. This is our Swiss Army knife. It's incredibly versatile. We're using it for blog posts. We're using it for repurposing content. We've also, and I have the number one superpower here sitting next to me, custom GPTs. Custom GPTs. Kelly will explain what that is in just a second. But guys, the next time you're logged into ChatGPT, right on the left, there's a section called GPTs. Make sure that you're familiar with that section. Kelly, you want to talk a little bit about custom GPTs, what they are, and why they're so beneficial and useful?
Yeah, guys, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. I'm guessing if you're on this call, this is something that you're doing. But we build a lot of custom GPTs, and Intentionally, the team will tell you I'm a little bit crazy about it. If there is a process that we replicate on an ongoing basis, if there's something that we do over and over and over again, you can bet that there's been a custom GPT built. So this is just an area of ChatGPT where you can go in and you can give it instructions in terms of the format and the layout and exactly what you want it to deliver. So let me give you an example. We try to provide a really strong client experience at Intentionally. And part of that is every Monday morning, every single one of our clients, so that's across about 100 clients now, gets an email from us that says, this is the metrics that we're running up against. This is how we're doing towards your goals. This is what we did last week. This is what we're doing this week. And this is what we need from you to be successful. And so that format, because we do that for 100 clients every single week, and it is a lot of content and it's a lot of copy and it's pulling from a lot of sources. We've created a custom GPT. We've taught it the format of the email that we want each client to get, and we've taught it the sources that we want it to pull from to do so. So what used to be manual and take us an entire Friday across almost our whole company to be able to get those emails out for Monday morning is now in the blink of an eye. And so if you are thinking about, if you're using ChatGPT and you're just sort of chatting with it and asking it things and it's pumping out stuff, my advice to you would be take it up a level, go to your daily to-do list, figure out the things that you're doing over and over again, and build a GPT template so that you can just click on the custom GPT and ask it, and it already knows all of the inputs. And it's funny, I did a podcast with Eric Clark. Shout out to Eric, love you. Months ago, and he had just got done a GPT building class, which he then made me do, which I'm very appreciative of. And I've been a crazy person ever since. These guys will tell you, it's a huge weapon if you do it right. And anybody that wants help with that, I'm happy to jump on with you.
Hey guys, I'm dropping that link in the chat right now as well. Big shout out to Eric Clark. This is one of the top episodes of Don't Do That podcast. Okay, let's also too, I dropped the link for the other AI tools listing in case you need it. Back to content creation. The other thing I want to say with custom GPTs is that's siphoning off that content and putting it in a protected area. And one of the things that I want to give kudos to Kelly is that number one, that we have a culture of innovation, but number two, guys, we are dealing with the paid version, the paid for business version of ChatGPT. So as I'm building my own custom GPTs, which I have one for my prospect meetings, I basically upload the transcript and it knows my tone of voice and it knows me and it knows the things that I like to cover. We have that area is it's a protected domain. So make sure that you're empowering your entire company with a business version, a paid version of ChatGPT, and then all of your employees should be logging in at that business, at that company version. So I wanted to make sure that you all had that information. Okay, so ChatGPT, we could spend the next 3 days on that, why we love it so much. Okay, Claude. Claude is what we're utilizing Claude for is our long form content. A big shout out to Lauren Sanders, who's our Chief Content Officer here, who champions an entire initiative that would absolutely blow your mind. starting out with having that Claude and having that long form content, nothing we do here is 100% AI. There's always like an agency overlay with a human in the loop, but it's a good place to start for like, basically taking a chunky document and refining it. So we even use it for things like, white papers. It just has a knack of just pulling insights and things directly. Okay, next tool is Jasper. Jasper is, if you are a marketer, everybody, all of you should get familiar with Jasper. They are a campaign specialist. They're built exactly for marketers for this purpose. There are templates for everything: Facebook, ad copy, LinkedIn posts, email nurture sequence, you name it. And I think one of the great things about Jasper is they're so confident in their product that they've got a 14 day or like 2-week trial, right? So you don't even have to invest it. But again, a lot of the tools that we have here at Intentionally are at a business and paid level. So just keep that in mind as you're experimenting. I love to experiment with like blog posts, and also too with all of the podcast content that we have. It's real safe. Okay, the next tool, the fourth one that we're going to be talking about as it relates to content creation, is Fathom. I love Fathom, you guys. Fathom is our internal note taker. One of the things that it allows us to do is to even query within the note taker and say, oh, what did they mention? Do they have HubSpot CRM? That would be if something I might need if I, was on a prospect call and then I forgot, if they mentioned that or not. So you can really query within. It also too, we even added our own little script. So it's giving us a sentiment analysis of how the call went. Is it green? Is it red? Or is it yellow? So that also too, you can modify within to, help the AI actually present and gather intelligence, the type of business intelligence that you need for your firm. But no subject around content creation and AI is complete without really talking about HubSpot AI. Okay. And Intentionally is, we're not only power users of HubSpot, Kelly's on the advisory council. We are one of the few firms that are. You have to get vetted every year. So I want her to talk a little bit about HubSpot AI, because it's huge. Especially if you're a HubSpot user, and if you're not and you need our help, let us know, because we're also a approved agency and we could get you a good deal, right, Cal?
Yeah. Just to back up a second on Tina's Fathom comment. So Fathom is a note taker, but we love Zox for you guys. Like, we think that that's the version that financial services should be using. They have the same capabilities as Fathom, and are even better and more compliant. So I think if folks on this call are looking for a chatbot, that's the one. That's the one to watch. So back to HubSpot. So most of you, actually, I don't know if most of you on this call would believe it, but in terms of email distribution tools, we are seeing a ton of uptake of HubSpot. I think financial services was very much not well versed in marketing automation, but over the last couple of years, we've seen a real spike in marketing automation through HubSpot, and we're loving it. We do sit on the advisory board. We do work very closely with them to bring HubSpot to financial services. It's a key effort that we have it Intentionally, and we're really excited about, like I said, the number of firms that are taking it on. That being said, most firms pick it up for marketing automation, right? Because there are lots of financial services CRMs that it can connect into. So most are just using it for marketing automation, but we love Content Hub. So if you have HubSpot or you're thinking about switching to it, I would greatly consider Content Hub, because they have so many tools within it. One of them is that they learn your tone of voice of your business, which is so hard, right? It's so hard. If you get a new writer or if you get a new agency, it's so hard to facilitate a streamlined tone of voice across your business. So they have a tool for that. And then another one that we love within Content Hub is Content Remix. So this is, every marketer's dream, to be able to upload a long form piece of content and have it turned into tons of different micro content. And I mean, those are two of very many tools that they have. I was looking at it this morning and I saw even more that I hadn't seen before. They have new AI agents for email follow-up. It's crazy. So if you have HubSpot, and this is actually advice I would give you across the board, look at the existing tools in your tech stack, right? Before you go and add a bunch of shiny new things, look at what you have and see what they're doing in terms of AI, because everybody's adding new features. HubSpot would be a great place to start. Our project management tool, we use Monday.com, and they have a ton of new features coming out that we just started looking at to help facilitate better project management at our firm. So I think that that's just like in general, take a look at the tools in your tech stack already, see what they have before you start exploring all the shiny things.
Okay, great. Our next, you guys, I dropped the content and copy creation in the chat for you all. And again, we have this on a one sheet that everybody will getting. But if you're like hungry and you want to check these things out right now, I put them in the chat. Okay, let's get to our next. I'll put these in the chat as well. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the next group on creative and design. But one of the things that we get asked a lot about, and it's combined with advisor brand builder, is help. We not only need new bios, but we need new headshots. And it used to be such a chore because in the olden days, before November 2022, when, ChatGPT launched, it was really super hard. We had to hire a photographer. We had to go to a client. Now, one of the tools I want to highlight on creative design is Arrogant AI. We get this question all the time. Help, Tina, we need new headshots. If you go to Arrogant AI, and I did this for my significant other, Mark, okay, I brought him to a location. I took vertical pictures of him, obviously dressed really nice for it. And I took him outside and I did 6 different poses. I then uploaded those 6 headshots of Mark to Arrogant AI. What Arrogant AI spit out for me was freaking amazing. Okay. Almost 100 shots. Now, there's obviously different things in outfits, guys, clothes that Mark didn't own, glasses that Mark didn't own, a background where Mark was never pictured at. And if you go to his LinkedIn right now, Mark Germain, the shot is the best shot like ever. So, there's no excuse for having a lousy headshot today, these days. We have disrupted that. So please, if you're an advisor, if you're a firm leader and you have an old LinkedIn shot that you haven't replaced in like the last year or 18 months, do me a favor and do what I just said. I just dropped that link in the chat. The other tool that we really like that is a big, like versatile champion is Gamma. Gamma app is phenomenal. Lots of tools there.
Hi, let me jump in on that, Tina. Can we all just give Tina a round of applause for her ability to multitask and put things in the chat? Although I think you might be sending them to just me, so just make sure. So Gamma app, guys, do not sleep on Gamma. It is a pitch deck creator. We all know how absolutely impossible it is to create pitch decks at the velocity that a lot of us need to be doing it. It's time consuming. It's hard. You need a designer. Gamma app is magic. It is magic. You can take a Google Doc, you can take a URL, you can take a Word doc, just about anything in any format, upload it to Gamma, and it's turned into a beautiful, amazing pitch deck within seconds. And then you have all these tools at your disposal to customize it any way you want. Or you can just type into an AI agent and say, hey, I want to change this a little bit, I want to change this a little bit, and it'll do it on your behalf. I had a big pitch yesterday. I was very busy. So at 6 a.m. yesterday morning, I did a Gamma deck for them, and it took me all of maybe 10 minutes. I sent it to my designer, and it took him probably 5 minutes to just make sure that everything was perfect. And you can upload templates to that. So we also have like intentionally templates. We have templates for a lot of our clients in there to make deck creation really quick and easy. So do not sleep on Gamma app, guys. This is a dream come true.
Thank you, Kel. You guys should all get those links. Thank you very much, Kelly. Yeah, it's Aragon. So it's Aragon AI, ARAGON space AI, and that link is there, Kina. So you could see it right there. Okay, and so glad that you're on the live webcast today. Okay, we are going to go. Our next category is going to be video and audio. And then after that, Kelly, I'm going to cue you up for the personalization and lead gen, right? Because I'm sure a lot of you have come for that. So let's get right into the video and audio. I did just drop a bunch of links for you all to Script, Riverside, 11 Labs, Opus, Clip, Captions app, Cast Magic, and Notebook LM. We could be here again for another 3 days. These are our favorite apps for video and podcasting. So Kelly has her podcast, Don't Do That. I have my podcast In the Suite. And yes, we've got a full team of, we've got, 30 expert marketers here, but this helps our content team get started. We use these platforms and programs to create YouTube scripts. You'll find that you'll see Kelly on the YouTube shorts. We've got a whole bunch of Don't Do That. But I want to give you guys a funny anecdote in just a second. Riverside FM, we're using to record Kelly's pod. I do mine on Zoom, but you could do it on either one. Descript also too is fantastic for content creation, specifically for podcasts. So you can use that as well. 11 Labs. Okay, this is the anecdote that I want to talk to you about. Episode 23 on Don't Do That involved the highlight reel of 22 leaders that Kelly had on her podcast, and also to an intro and an outro script that we didn't have on file. So like every busy CEO, which defines Kelly Waltrich, I needed 25 different files to give to our podcast and video editor. Unbeknownst to her, what I did was I cloned her voice. And I gave 11 Labs the script for her to introduce everybody that we had on the podcast, as well as the intro and outro script. So again, was it totally amazing? Did it get her voice precisely? No. I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10. You can all go to don'tdothat.com and listen to that. But the thing is that we got that episode out. I don't have to have Kelly's, time to record, which she doesn't have, 24 different podcast tracks, right? She has just enough time to do her pod. So anyway, I hope that's like fun. Opus Clips is phenomenal on extracting, like creating YouTube shorts, as is the Captions app. The Captions app is something that we utilize. A bunch of you should all be subscribed to the Intentionally Brief. It's our newsletter. If you're not, I'll put a link in the chat in just a minute. But within Intentionally Brief, every time that comes out, we normally have like a video of one of our team members here at Employees. This time it's Lisa DeCanzio, who recorded a video outside. And then again, we'll use that for transcription, and to bring in the captions, we'll actually burn that. So I hope that is helpful. Paige, thanks so much for being here. We definitely appreciate you. So yeah, Notebook LM is a Google product. And so I want to say something about Google. There is a Google AI Essentials certification. I literally did this. It's about 11 to 13 hours of work on your behalf. It's very interactive, but Google produces an AI platform known as Notebook LM. And it's kind of like Chat GPT in a way, that you're siphoning off a portion of your content. I use it for very specific projects, but one of the unique features that it has is that you can import all kinds of links for documents, PDFs, any type of file that you can imagine, even a JPEG, and it will come up with a podcast recording of what you've kind of just put out, so that you could ask it questions. It really is mind-blowing. So again, you could look at YouTube, go to YouTube and say, show me Notebook LM, and you'll find some really cool videos. So that is an absolute game changer for content as well. Okay. Thanks to all you guys. Let's get to a really, really, really important part of today's conversation around demand gen and personalization. As you know, Intentionally is a go-to-growth consultancy, and one of the things that we are mandated is helping our clients grow. And we're utilizing both the organic and the inorganic. So I'm going to let Kelly take the floor on this and
All right. Thanks, Tina. If only I had as much energy as you. She's wild, right? I need some coffee. Anyway, so demand gen has always been my favorite part of marketing. I thrive on creating leads. I always have. I love it and I'm obsessed with it. And I had the benefit of early on in my career, I think in my eMoney days and in my Orion days, of mastering the inbound marketing motion, right? You guys have all heard of inbound. It was coined by HubSpot, and it's essentially a way of moving people through your funnel. And it's a lot of landing pages. It's a lot of gated content. Um, it's a lot of creating opportunities for people to come to you versus you going outward to them. Well, fast forward to today, and that playbook is no more. Guys, we woke up one day and we're like, oh my gosh, things have changed. The buyer journey has changed in drastic ways that I think we can all agree about. People are not going through a straight line to buy things anymore. People are buying in so many different ways, and it's our job as marketers to understand that for our specific businesses and for our specific products and services, and align our demand gen engines accordingly. So I am borderline obsessed with, like, what does the future of demand gen look like? I follow a bunch of influencers, I read a lot, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I am trying to make sure that it intentionally stays on the front line. So are we perfect at this? And are the tools, the AI tools, perfect? I would say not yet. They're getting there. But some things that I want you to check out and hear about are the following. Um, Clay is a tool that we use to supplement our data on all of our prospects. So it's an enrichment tool. There's a lot of them out there. There's Apollo, there's industry specific ones, all kinds of options, but we use Clay. We like it. We like the data. We like that they pull from a ton of different data sources, more than we think any other provider does, to give us the best possible data to pull from. Additionally, the AI piece of this is that it layers on personalization. So you then take that data and you can build communications, content, emails, nurtures, you name it, with personalized content. So you think about back in the day, it was like variable fields from within your CRM where you could pull a variable field over. Now it's in real time as you're crafting communications. It can swap in and out content based on the individual prospects. It is awesome. The next thing I want to point you to is HeyReach. We're using HeyReach for social media automation campaigns. We love this tool. Our clients that use it see a lot of great success in their automated social outreach. The next thing is Smart Lead. We all know that it would be beautiful to be able to use HubSpot for all of our outbound email campaigns, but the fact of the matter is you can't go to a cold list with HubSpot. They will absolutely shut down your instance in a second. For better or worse, we have to start somewhere. You're starting with a cold list at some point in your journey. And we have a lot of clients that come to us with either no list or a cold list. And so things like Smart Lead and Instantly AI do a phenomenal job of helping you do some domain warming. If you don't know what that means, we can talk about it on one-on-one, but doing domain warming and cold personalized outreach. So those two things are Smart Lead and Instantly. Next, and I'll just leave you with this one, although I have a whole list here, but it would take us all day, is a tool called Qualified. So something we spent a lot of time at it intentionally is we believe that the buyer journey used to be split 50-50 with sales, right? So the marketing would own half the funnel, sales would own half the funnel. And now that things are so much more digital, we're seeing marketing take the funnel to a much farther place, to move people through to a much farther place, and sales to pick up more closely towards the end. And Qualified, you guys got to check this out. It's wild. They put a video on their website. They launched it. I made my whole company watch it. They essentially created an agent that it looks like a live person, talks like a live person, shows up on the website where you are, talks to you about what you're reading and what you're looking at, and navigates you to the next thing that you should be doing. So, hey, I see that you clicked on our pricing page. You must be comparing pricing with other products like mine. Here's a pricing comparison that might be helpful to you in your buyer journey. And if somebody clicks off that page, it'll tee up an email to say, hey, thanks for visiting the site. Here's the resources that you looked at. Just wanted to make sure you had the downloaded versions. You know, if you ever want to set up a call, it is wild. It is like having a human, a robot SDR or BDR. So I will say this is one, all of these things we have personally tried and we're personally using for either ourselves or our clients. This AI BDR, we have not yet tried, but we are going to because I'm obsessed. I saw the video and I'm like, that is amazing. And maybe we might not be ready for it in this industry. I don't know. But I think it would be really cool if you could all watch that video because I think it is where the future of that role within a business is going. So I know that that was a lot. It's a lot of tools. It's a lot of things. I know you're thinking to yourself, man, that's overwhelming and that's probably really expensive. And you're not wrong about those things. So we spent a lot of time talking to firms about what they need to add to their toolkit. You obviously don't need 20 technologies, but the likeliness that plugging in one or two of these to improve your go-to-market motion is high. You know, like it's likely that that adding one or two of them could improve your efforts and improve your outcomes. So thinking about, you know, having conversations with us and thinking about where they fit in might be a good idea. And there's so many more. I have so many more, but I would totally overwhelm you. There's just so many cool things. And I think, you know, like I said before, my best advice is to look at the tools you have and see what they already give to you, and try those things out. But then the list that I just gave you, so Clay, HeyReach, Smart Lead, Instantly, and Qualified, I think are a good starting point if you are leading a demand gen function at any type of firm.
Okay, great. Thanks very much for that. Hey, everybody, how are we doing so far? I just want to get a pulse check of the audience. I'm going to launch our second poll before our next category, and it's a big one. It's a hot one. It's one that's near and dear to my heart, is AI SEO. Okay, so let us know right now, just a little bit of a pulse check, guys. What's your biggest AI frustration? You know, Kelly just rattled off a ton of, well, not a ton, but you know, a lot of tools right now, you know, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Luckily, Intentionally has helped to cut the chase in half for you. And again, as we said that from the beginning, from the top of the broadcast, that we will be making sure that you guys have that one sheet that gives you all the AI tools that we're going to be talking about. This is no surprise, actually. This is really good. And I think, again, it lends itself very well to what Kelly was talking about. You know, knowing what tools are worth it, which was exactly the reason for today's show, is actually sharing tools that we're actually utilizing so that you have a first place to start rather than, you know, being, a lot of us are overwhelmed. We're already putting these tools into motion. So again, I hope that you all find this very helpful. Give us a little bit of reaction if you feel like this is going good right now, or if we're going too fast also too, like let us know. I know there's a lot of ground to cover. The next section, AI SEO, I'm going to hit enter right now. And so you should all have those right in your in the chat right now. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about AI SEO. I don't want to sound like a fire hose, but there's a lot going on, and Kelly talked about it just before. You know, we used to rank websites, a lot of our SEO with websites, and Intentionally builds many websites. It's a core competency of what we do here at Intentionally. We not only build them aesthetically, but we're also making sure that we're doing the strategic messaging and the copywriting. So in essence, the content for all of the website as well. But what used to happen is advisors would want to make sure that they are ranked. If somebody types in to Google, hey, financial advisor near me, and normally Google would produce, you know, a series of ads and maps and page links and all of that stuff. Now the game has changed, guys. Fundamentally, search has changed. Now, what's happening is that people are going to LLMs like ChatGPT, like Perplexity, like Gemini, and instead of the prompt going financial advisor near me, it sounds like more like this. Who are the top rated financial advisors within 10 miles of me who specialize in retirement planning, and what makes them different? Okay. So I hope that you're seeing the difference. Google is giving you a lot more noise, where AI is giving you a direct, curated answer. Answer is the key word. What we're really starting to see, guys, is that AI is acting like a gatekeeper of information. There's definitely a shift away from traditional search and through AI experiences. Part of today's webinar is hopefully to light a fire under everyone who's here. I know that it's lit a fire under intentionally, is to make sure that your brand is going to show up in AI. We're revolving and evolving from a search engine optimization to search everywhere optimization. You've also too heard the term answer engine optimization, because we've got, Google AI as well. But let's get into some of the specific platforms, what we're using and why we're using it. So SEMrush, we're still utilizing a lot on the SEO side. SEMrush, Writesonic, and Otterly AI all have a dashboard that allows you to see how your brand is ranking, or is showing, or is not showing on different AI platforms. And one of the things that I did, I thought it would be nice to actually give you a little bit of a looking glass, because this is good information. It's not covering a client. So Salesforce is not a client of Intentionally. Let's just kind of take a look at Otterly. Otterly is one of my favorite programs. This is what we're talking about when we talk about AI SEO, right? Now, everybody's heard of Salesforce. A lot of financial advisors use Salesforce as a CRM. But if I were Salesforce Chief Marketing Officer, and I'm sure that this is initiative right now, because guys, this is still like very hot. We're in the beginning age innings for this. They don't have their LLM's text file. There's actually a text file that you need to upload to your server for your website. Intentionally's already got it, guys. Intentionally's already got it, called LLM's text. It's like robot text. You're basically telling the AI, hey, this is where my site is about, and you're giving it clear citations, clear URLs of what your content is about. You can see right now AI readiness is scoring a 48. And it's in red, right? No bueno. They've got some work over there. But there's some other things like site content. You see how these things are in green. This is good. Site static content is good. Page test is at 67. I would probably want to increase that a little bit. And structured data is at 76%. Let's just kind of hone in at the file, at the page level here, because they've got a ton of work to do. And if you subscribe to a platform like Otterly AI, you know exactly how to improve your content. Websites, everybody, spoiler alert, you've got to do this for your websites now. Be ahead of the pack. Don't wait to do your website for AI search. This is what you're looking at, is what we call a geo audit, generative engine optimization. So we're happy and Intentionally. We love you guys. We appreciate, you all being here. We'll do this for free for you guys. We'll run your geo audit like I just did for Salesforce give us one domain, and we're happy to do that. But I hope that this at least starts to, paint a picture here. Even some of the best companies in the world right now haven't addressed it. Be ahead of the curve and start addressing it now. Okay. So again, Otterly, great. Perplexity too. Another big thing with Perplexity, guys, that is very disruptive. And Perplexity has their own search engine, their own browser. That's what I want to say. The word is browser. So let me, I was going to see if I could show that. Yes, I am showing that right now. That's called Comet. So again, we're no longer operating in just a Google world. There's a lot of attention. I follow the Hard Fork podcast on New York Times. there's a lot of talk about Perplexity's comment. So understanding that web browsers, the decision tree, how we make buying decisions is fundamentally different. How your brand shows up is also fundamentally different. So I'm going to drop our contact information in the chat so that you can all, if you want us to do a generative engine optimization audit for your firm, complimentary, we're happy to do that. Okay. Let's see. I think we got to most sections.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I'm gonna, before we jump into questions, I'm gonna leave you with this. You know, I said this in the beginning, very beginning. Some of you messaged us that you jumped on a little late. I think our biggest advice to you, and I think Tina and I agree on this, is a couple of things. One, go through the exercise that we talked about and get with your firm and talk about the things in your business that are not ideal in terms of how you're doing them. The process is too long, it's too resource intensive. You repeat the same thing over and over again, whatever it is, and come up with that list. And that's your AI roadmap, right? Those are the things within your business. And it doesn't even have to be just marketing. Although we gave you a lot of great tools for marketing, it can be anything across your business where you want to improve productivity. That becomes your roadmap. And so many of these tools are easily plugged in to help facilitate better processes, and less sort of human lift to get through a lot of things. Just to, I'm not just talking the talk. I truly walked this. I got our team together. I told you guys earlier on. And some of the things, I'm just going to rattle off some of the things that we came up with. We have GPTs for the start of week notes that we send to all of our clients. We have GPTs for follow-up emails after every meeting. I have a setup in our meeting note taker tool to tell me if any client ever feels in their conversations at all unhappy. So I get an immediate notification and I can jump in and say, hey, let's rally, let's get this going. Where do we need to be? So that's a really cool feature. We have facilitated improved processes around our reporting for our clients. So any of you that do reporting for any of your clients, this is a great way to add executive summaries to your reports, to summarize all of the data, and to give your team a roadmap from all of the data that you look at for how to improve and optimize. The same things that apply to an agency for sure apply to your business. So again, use the things in your business that bother you day to day as your AI roadmap. And then the second best advice that I think we can give you is start with the tools you have. You know, you have a lot of things, you all have a lot of MarTech, you all have a lot of technology in general. Everybody's adding AI features, and it's so easy to get caught up. We are not helping the situation by giving you 100 new tools to try, but it's so easy to get caught up with the shiny things, right? I would say go to the tools that you have, check out what they have in terms of AI features, and see if that can help facilitate the change that you're looking for. And then start wading into other things. And then I would say the last thing, is make sure that you talk to people about the tools that they're using. It's so much easier to hear from someone like, hey, I'm using this and it's working well, than try to go through that full process by yourself. And then last, just a plug for intentionally, is that there's a million tools and they're expensive, right? So to the extent that you can partner with a firm like ours who has agency pricing and can make some of these maybe less affordable things more affordable, I think that that's a great way to go about it too. We're trying to really create a lot of partnerships with the ones that we think are best so that we can bring that value to you guys at a lower cost. Anything else I'm missing there, lady?
Yeah, it lends itself to our first question here about setting up, like, where do you start? So the question is, if we are setting up a new website, how do we set up geo, AEO, SEO friendly website? And the short answer is the tools. I just literally dropped the link in the chat. If I were designing a website today for that, and we do it all the time, we have these tools, like Kelly just explained, we have these tools. We have them sometimes at at a professional level where we have economies of scale. But here's the thing, if I were doing a website today, there's no way that I would do it without tools. The software tools would be as follows. My software tools of choice to check AEO, SEO, GEO: SEMrush, Otterly AI, and Surfer SEO. right? What we have found is that there's not one tool that does everything and that does everything well. SEMrush is also too a great diagnostics tool. So for the people that are listening right now, for you business leaders that are listening and saying, well, we're not setting up a website right now, but we have a website, and how do we know whether or not our website is like performing or not? A lot of these tools, the ones that I just mentioned, will give you a baseline set of analytics and will give you those benchmarks of where to start. We just looked at a great example of Salesforce. Getting your website geo, AEO, and SEO friendly and making sure that they're up to par is an exhaustive effort. So I would say that, and I will give a second plug to intentionally, know what agency you are working with. Are they an innovative agency? Are they trying these things on themselves? Is there an appetite for R&D, which there is here with a CEO that purely supports that? So make sure that you're working with an agency that is competent in these platforms to begin with. So that's what I would say about that.
I'm going to take the next one, Tina. So we got a question about compliance. How do we keep compliance and legal happy? And I think Tina touched on this earlier, but I want to just run it back for a second. The steps that we've taken at Intentionally, and I'm sure that there's more that we need to do as this is changing and evolving and growing, and the way that we're using AI is changing, evolving, and growing. But the first thing we did was to make sure that we had paid versions of everything that we're using, and that all of our employees are doing their searches and running their queries through our paid versions. Because there's a slew of settings that you can go through to make sure that, are you training the model or are you not training the model? In our case, we're not training the model, right? Because if we ever talk about a client or talk about ourselves, we want to make sure that that is proprietary information to us. And it also has a whole bunch of settings around, what are you sharing with the other employees? What are you keeping to paid versions. Tina already hit on that, but I just want to reiterate, this is really important, and that you go through those settings and make sure that you're making intentional decisions about the way that your business wants to interact. The other thing is that we have an AI policy. It's just now made its way to all of our employees, but it's making its way to our handbook very quickly about the use of AI, what you're allowed to put in there, what you're not allowed to put in there, what you're allowed to use it for, and what tools are approved at our firm. And we want to be an AI lab. We want to try everything. So we're constantly updating this, and we're moving fast through this. But we have, an attorney on staff who's paying attention to the ins and outs of all of the legalese of all these tools to make sure that that we're well positioned if we're using them. So those two things, I think, having a strong policy and making sure that you have paid versions of everything that you're using, and just having an outlet for all of your team members to be able to say, hey, we want to try this. Can I turn this on? And having a quick and easy process for vetting new tools so that you're not you're not holding people back from innovation is what I would say. So I hope that helps.
I also want to say that this is, thank you very much for the question, Paulina. That was great. And I do want to say that this is the first webinar that the first live webcast that we've literally had somebody else's chatbot attend. So Rick McConkey, to everyone.
What's up, Rick?
Exactly. So his chatbot is in the feed right now if you want a full summary from Otter. And Otter is also too a program here that we use for transcribing things, and so I want to make sure that you have that as well. Kelly answered a great question. I think that one of the things that we're going to start to see is definitely SEC regulations. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of AI policy built within, but again, Intentionally is always ahead of the curve. And I've got to credit my business partner and our CEO with having that appetite for being ahead of the curve, but also too, it's balanced with legal. We've got a full-time legal person on staff here at Intentionally, which should just illustrate how much we take all of these things very seriously. So I'll leave you again with our contact information so that if you want to reach out to us individually, you at least have our stuff. And please, if you're not following Intentionally already on LinkedIn, we put a lot of this out in our Intentionally Brief, which is our monthly newsletter. So make sure that you're subscribed. We appreciate you all so much. Thank you for the graciousness of your time and attention. And good luck with your own AI adventures, everybody. We'll see you here next time.
Thanks, guys.